I did wonder, ladies and gents, what Lucasfilm was going to be doing next. Because they've seemingly destroyed all of their IPs. So Lucasfilm as a studio, as a film studio, never really owned a lot of intellectual properties. They never really had a lot to their name. The main one was, of course, Star Wars, right? That was the biggest one. And then secondly would have been Indiana Jones. And then after that was going to be Willow. Now, Star Wars, we know that Disney has utterly destroyed. They've milked that cash cow. It's just a dried, shriveled up husk. And then we know that obviously Indiana Jones has since bombed as well. That's a movie which I doubt they're going to want to explore again for a while. But seemingly, well, you read the headline anyway. It looks like they want to do a young Indiana Jones movie. That's the way they're going to continue it. But yeah, Willow's destroyed. They did that weird follow-up series that they then cancelled after one season. So, yeah, what IP are they going to do? Well, the same stuff that they have got, but they're going to try and go back in time. Young Indiana Jones movie. Now, for those that don't remember, there used to be a Young Indiana Jones. Yeah, there used to be Young Indiana Jones. They were actually quite good. I quite liked them back in the day. They weren't bad at all. Well, I've not watched them for a while. They might be terrible now. Who knows? But I remember them. And I remember them fondly. But this is seemingly a rumour, obviously. But it makes sense. What can Lucasfilm do with their product now? Well, a young Indiana Jones, I guess. You're going to bastardise it from a younger age. Great. So anyway, let's take a look. A young Indiana Jones movie is allegedly in development at the Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm, according to Scoop of WDW Pro. Now, I will say as well, this article is linked down below, so check it out. And if you're new here, hit subscribe, guys. Support the channel if you keep coming by, which a lot of you watch these videos and you're not subscribed. I can tell that from my analytics. Please do hit subscribe on the channel. It would help out quite a lot. And get those notifications on so you can stay up to date on all of this stuff. Thank you so much in advance. So in a recent video uploaded to his WDW Pro YouTube channel, Scooper WDW Pro shared that a young Indiana Jones movie is in development at Lucasfilm. Good times. Jesus. Anyway, he says, quote, "I have a source who has been right in the past and tells me that it appears Lucasfilm is doing some developing, shall we say, maybe some preliminary work on what it would look like to do a young Indiana Jones movie in which Indy would be around the age of 14. Would clearly not be played by Harrison Ford, obviously. And they may believe that's young enough that it wouldn't be a problem for the character to not be played by Harrison Ford. Obviously, it's not going to be Harrison Ford. So Pro then shared his own speculation, says, "I suspect that what they're looking at is what if they adapted the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, which was a television series, I believe, back in the 90s, or what if they set out on their own?" Again, that Young Indiana Jones Chronicles is pretty good. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty good. I'm told that this would be also something they're looking at for a post-Kathleen Kennedy era at Lucasfilm. I always think to myself, how Lucasfilm, again, I started the video saying, how can they continue? What era can you have at Lucasfilm? They don't have any IP. The only IP that they have is, again, Star Wars, Willow, and Indiana Jones. They've destroyed Star Wars. Right? Where's the interest in Star Wars now? They've devalued it by putting it on the small screen and making its home streaming. That is a way to devalue the product. Despite huge budgets, it's still a way to devalue it. It's accessible to everyone for a subscription cost. That is a devaluing act. Indiana Jones, you're butchered by having this as a pleb in it, Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And yeah, Willow was just a disaster. It is very odd. It's a very odd thing to do. But it does make sense, do a young Indiana Jones. You don't have to recast, so you can kind of get around that. But you could still do a younger Indiana Jones. You could recast. You could do these things. But they just don't want to. They don't think that's the right way to go. But you could definitely do it. Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt would make a great Indiana Jones. Anyway, the Indiana Jones is coming off of its worst performance at the box office, With The Dial of Destiny, the film only grossed $174.4 million domestically and another $209.4 million internationally for $383.9 million worldwide, which is really bad. Really bad. I mean, the disaster that was The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull had a global gross of $786.6 million, which was back in 2008, which would probably be well over $1 billion if you factored in inflation. So, yeah, they really screwed themselves there, didn't they? And again, The Last Crusade, that had $474.9 million back in 1989. You factor that into inflation, that's a big-ass number. That's a huge hit. And it would have made even more money on VHS and home video and things. So not only is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny the worst performing Indiana Jones film of all time at the box office, but it also lost Lucasfilm and Walt Disney Company at least $100 million, probably more than that. So Forbes at the time reported that the film failed to cover its costs at the box office according to financial statements released. Disney spent $134.2 million more on making the movie than it is understood to have received in ticket sales. That's well bad. That's so bad. So, there you go. I mean, that's the news, right? The news is that Kathleen Kennedy, in her, in her myopic, sort of, intelligence that she has, a weird blinkered world view, she's like, I know what we'll do. A young Indiana Jones. It's like, for goodness sake. Not good. Now, again, I like young Indiana Jones. I think the previous stuff is actually pretty decent for what it was. You can do something good with it. I don't know. This ain't it. I just don't trust Disney and Lucasfilm anymore. And that's what it boils down to. The IP holders, can they be trusted with the IP that they own anymore? It's that goodwill that companies earn from fans, right? And that is a thing. It is a thing. Goodwill from the audience is really important. And when a company loses it, it's very, very difficult to get it back. And I think Disney has scuppered that forever moving forwards. But this is just my 2 cents worth. What is your 2 cents worth? Let me know down below in the comments. Let me know what you think. Again, this is just a rumour at this point, but it does make sense. What else is Disney going to do? They don't have any IPs at Lucasfilm. So, mine them. So it does make sense. I can believe it. But anyway, leave your thoughts down below. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.